Born in Staten Island?
No, I was
Raised?
born in Manhattan.
Born in Manhattan.
Yeah, I grew up in Little Italy in Manhattan.
Okay.
And then we moved to Staten Island when I was in grade school.
What was growing up like?
In New York?
In New York?
Insanity.
Where were you primarily? All downtown, Little Italy?
Yeah, like
Lower
mostly.
East Side?
Yeah, mostly Little Italy. We had like I grew up in Little Italy, and then we had the store on Mott Street, and then we had the routes. So we delivered bread throughout Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn.
Parisi Bakery.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it's a well-known bakery.
It's very.
If you
well-known.
are from New York City,
Oh, everybody knows it.
and you have spent time downtown, you know Parisi Bakery.
Yeah, it's a famous bakery. It's been there since 1903. Frank Sinatra everybody's been there.
That's your last name, family-owned business.
Yeah.
When did it start? What generation?
4 generations ago.
Okay. So your great-great-great
My great
great-great.
my great grandfather.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you grew up running around the bakery, running around Little Italy,
Yeah.
downtown.
Yeah.
You probably, look, there's organized crime down there.
Big time down there during that time. It was huge. I mean, you're talking about the early 80s, Gotti, that whole crew. Yeah,
Gotti Prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I grew up 2 blocks from the Ravenite. So I grew up on Elizabeth Street, and they were on Mulberry. So it's Elizabeth, Mott, Mulberry.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like, that exposure?
I mean, everything's normal until you realize it's not.
Beating the shit out of someone on the street.
It's just a different life, It's a different life. You grow up in that life. It's a different life, Italians have our own culture to begin with, and then that's a culture within the culture.
It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle.
It's a way of life. It's only like people that understand it or have been around it could truly understand it. You know what I mean?
Now, when you're at an age where you're starting to kind of think about what you want to do in life, for someone who's exposed to that lifestyle, what's the thought process? Or is there even a thought process? It's like, I'm going to do that.
Man, it was like that was it. Like you become a product of your environment. Like it's not do what I say. It's we do what we see. Not what people say to us. We do what they do. Like especially parents. You grow up, you're gonna do what they do. The environment that you're in. It's very rare that a human being is gonna think differently of what they were raised in.
Did you have siblings?
No.
Only child?
Only child.
So your dad was around, mom was around.
Yes.
I feel like it's crazy because in the Italian organized crime, that lifestyle, I feel like the parents were great parents.
Yeah.
I feel like, parents were together. Fathers were spending time with their sons or daughters. A lot of the time you hear people who maybe use drugs are like, oh, well, my dad left and I never heard from him ever again when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
In the Italian culture, I feel like it's no matter what, like whatever, but there's obviously a problem with the lifestyle and seeing like what your father's doing or what your mom's doing or whatever it is. So can you speak to, what your father was doing and what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of love in the home, but there was a lot of, confusion, brother, I mean, my father took me all over. He took me everywhere. But, like, while I was being a little kid, like, I mean, I remember meeting with, like, my father sold pot, right? He was one of the biggest pot dealers. But, I mean, I remember being a little kid, like 6, 7 years old, going up to the spots in Harlem where he had the dreads that were selling the pot in the bodegas up there, So, like, everywhere I went with him, I'd be in, like, social clubs. I'd be going out with the guys. As a little kid, like, I was exposed to a lot of shit that most kids are not exposed to at that age, Like, I mean, violence, a lot of violence. It was like I was one of the guys, but as a little kid, 3, 4, 5 years old, I was like part of the crew. Yeah.
And
that's what it was like. I was like part of the crew.
At a young age.
At a young age, man. I remember just like, I watched my dad hit people with baseball bats. I watched him get into fist fights. I've even gone out with him and like one of his friends. I remember as a little kid, 4 or 5 years old, working through the neighborhood. His friend, I was walking with him, and there was a fight in the neighborhood. He jumps in the fight. Like, I'm a little kid just sitting on the street there. You know what I mean? 4 or 5 years old. He's supposed to be my protector. And I'm here watching him hop in a fight because he's watching, obviously, somebody that he knew getting into a fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Backing him up.
So it's just like this, like I remember I went to a Ranger game as a kid. It was a preseason game. And these like guys came bumping down. I was on my dad's shoulders. They came bumping down the escalator. And one of my father's friends, they called him Charlie Tuna because everyone had nicknames in New York. He came over and just cracked the guy, broke the whole guy's face. But now there was like 7, 8 guys against my dad and like 2 of his friends, you know? And I'm like 4 years old in the middle of this brawl, bro, you know? And that was kind of like the crazy shit I was around, man, you know?
Do you remember it very clearly?
Oh, yeah, brother. Violence was normal. That's why it was normal for me to commit violent acts, because when you're around it so much and that's all you see, like constantly, it becomes second nature to you. It's not like something human beings become accustomed to whatever environment we are in, you know?
I mean, that's traumatizing for a young kid to see. At a very young age. I feel like you become numb to it, right? Once you see it a few times. But in the very beginning, 4 years old, 5 years old, I remember my father, I was 8 years old. I played football, and my father was one of the coaches. And he got into a verbal altercation with the other coach. The other coach got in his face and didn't fully push him, but like put his hands on my father. My father just took a step back, cocked back, and hit him right on the field.
Yeah.
In front of everyone.
Yeah.
And the guy just fell.
Yeah.
That was fucking traumatizing.
Yeah.
Because then mayhem just broke loose. Everyone came out to the field. Other people are fighting.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing that. And I mean, of course, I'm like, yeah, my father fucking knocked him out. But like, it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
And that was always, and then for a while, I had an issue with fighting people.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Until I hit someone the wrong way.
Right.
And they're in a coma.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's very traumatizing.
It is. And I remember the feeling, you know, when all that's about to pop off. Like, and then you know when it's gonna pop off. As a kid, like, you have that intuition,
that energy.
Yeah, you see already when something's about to happen before it's even happening. You know, and that feeling, that like nervous internal feeling, you know, that feeling stays with you, bro. Like, when you have that, like that took years of work to silence. You know,
triggering.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah.
When did you, or let's fast forward to high school. What was high school like for you?
I mean, high school was all right, you know. I had to fight a lot. I was a smaller, you know, Italian kid, very mixed schools. So, you know, the white boy shit was always thrown out. So, you know, my school was like where it was like, bro, you either gonna fight or you're gonna be lunch meat. You know, people are gonna fuck with you. They're gonna take your shit. They're gonna, you know, you'd be walking down the street or down the hall, and then someone's just smacking you in the back of the head for no reason. Like, you can't just take that. You gotta handle your own. So it was a lot of fighting, man. A lot of fighting. We had a crew that we were tight and made sure that we had each other's back. We were a bunch of misfits. Grew up similar backgrounds, you know, violent homes, dad's not around, who's in jail, whose father's, you know, never was around, whose father's in jail, whose father's a drug addict, you know. So I was hanging around a lot of troubled kids, man, doing troubled acts, and parents were never home, you know. Our parents were never home.
Yeah.
We were the latchkey kids, man, you know.
We're going to your house to party.
Yeah. Well, none of our parents were home.
Yeah.
You know?
Just rotating through everyone's house to go party.
And we were like, bro, okay, you grow up watching Goodfellas, Godfather, and you're living in it. So what else Wu-Tang's out, hip hop, like we're living in all this shit.
The golden days.
Yeah, bro. So like, what else you gonna do, man? You know what I mean? And then on top of that, like, the mindset that was imprinted in me is like even though my dad would take me everywhere and we did a lot of good things, it was like my home was so dark, bro, that it was like, man, my life's a big pile of fucking shit. So fuck it. You know what I mean?
I'm just gonna go into overdrive.
Overdrive. I didn't give a fuck. There's a lot of freedom in that too, like in that mindset. But you're gonna die. Like if you just want to be a 1%er all the time, it's not gonna get you in this society going balls to the wall with everything. And that was my mentality. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't give a fuck about nothing. Like drugs, alcohol, violence, whatever. Like whatever, whenever. You know?
Drug and alcohol wise, where are you at through, let's say senior year of high school?
I'm probably smoking pot daily, then drinking once in a while. Like we experimented with like some pills, like volume, like maybe a Percocet. Like I was in experiment. I did the hallucinogens. You know what I mean? But it was more weed every day. Mm-hmm. Weed every day. I was a pothead. Smoke weed every day. But it wasn't like full-blown addiction. I was still, at that time I was doing good. I was like working at the bakery. I was hustling, making money. Like as a kid, I was like 18, 19. I had like 40,000, bro. Mm-hmm. I was like doing good for that age, just hustling, working at the bakery and selling a little bit of pot, making money here and there, whatever hustle you could make. I was still doing pretty good.
Downtown Manhattan, that's a perfect spot to be selling pot too. A lot of traffic down there.
Oh, bro. So the bakery where we had on Elizabeth Street, so the building I grew up in, the apartment became the spot. Yeah. So we would have like hundreds of pounds of pot in there. And the way it used to roll was like they would come into the bakery, the building in the bakery. Yeah, because the door, there would be a door in the bakery into the building. So they go in the bakery, go in, go up, come down with the pounds, come out with a bag of bread.
What year is this now, roughly? Like 2000, 2001?
Fucking life. But yeah, no, like while I'm in it now, because at first my father, then he blew up later on. But like late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. I graduated high school in 97, so I'm probably down there a lot now, like 98, 99.
Okay.
2000, yeah.
So you are...
Fun times, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I miss some of that sometimes in the insanity of it all, Like all the guys in the apartment counting the money, hanging out. There's like camaraderie in the sickness of it,
Any static from the police at all at this time?
I mean, I've already been arrested a few times, but we always been, my whole life, it's always been cat and mouse, I didn't have any like major cases stick to me. My dad had some caught in some cases early on, but at this point, there was some stuff that happened in like 2003 where he did catch a big case. Yeah.
Where are you at drug wise, and when do you start moving on to harder drugs, maybe dependent more on drugs?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like probably, I don't know the exact year, but I remember music and sports. I'm a big sports fan. And the year that the Astros moved into the Minute Maid Park in Houston, they had the All-Star game there that year. And I remember the Yankees had like Giambi and A-Rod and that whole team. And that night, I remember watching the All-Star game at my parents' house with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. And I remember, because at the time I was starting to mess with the perks heavy, like every day. But I didn't know. Like, you don't know. You think you're taking a pill. You don't know. Like, if they would have said that this fucking pill is heroin, there's no fucking, like, our crew, even though we were crazy, was not the drug addict crew. We were not the drug addict crew, bro. I smoked pot to alleviate all the bullshit, but I would have never taken that drug if I didn't know, if I knew that it was what it would have done to me. Like nowadays, like we know. You're talking about like early 2000s, they were saying it's non-addictive, the oxys and shit. And I remember taking these things and I didn't have it that night. And I remember feeling fucking sick. And I remember like I vividly, bro, being like, holy fucking shit. What am I gonna do? Cause I'm fucking strung out off these fucking things. Like this shit has me like a heroin addict. Like this is the most insane fucking feeling that I've ever had in my life that's going through my body at that moment. I've had more insane later, but at that moment it was like, what the fuck is going on internally? And there's no way I could tell anybody. How the fuck am I gonna tell my dad that I'm strung out on fucking pills,
painkillers,
or the fucking my boys, the street?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So now I'm like, fuck. What do you do with that? You're in. I have money at the time, so which is bad because now it's like fucking balls to the wall, bro. Right? I need this shit. I do not like how I feel when I'm not on it. I feel too sick, and I like how I feel on it. So it's like this whole fucking game that we wind up getting caught up in, man. You know?
I feel like it's either someone gets hurt or it's like, oh, you know, some so-and-so has Vicodin. Remember it was hydrocodone, then it went to Percocet. That's how I started.
The Perk 5s, the Perk
5s, Perk 10s.
Then it was those Roxy 30s.
Then the Roxys came out.
Then the Oxys. Then it was the Oxy 40s, the 80s.
And a lot of people, including myself, I'm like, well, these are prescribed to people from a doctor. It can't be that bad for you.
I used to rationalize.
And I can pull myself out of this. Mm-hmm. And I told myself that for years. And you're building, I mean, the monster inside you. I do believe alcoholism and drug addiction is a disease. And I believe that, you know, it starts within here. Because, you know, once you do the work, I've done the work in sobriety, you start to see what's going on deep down and why you're trying to escape for so long.
Absolutely.
So for me, opiates were that thing that set it off, that moved me, got me out of my head from the chaos that was going on. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like once you crossed paths with painkillers and opiates, that did for you what it did for me.
Oh, bro, it's like when, I don't know if you're an AA guy, but like when Bill talks about I've arrived.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's like, that's it, dude. Like when like the pot was always good because I had the best pot. But once I took that pill, it was like, oh, the World Trade Center went down?
I know.
It's okay, man. We're good. Everything's good. And it really is. It's fucking great. It's the best until one's not enough and 10's not enough to get that feeling again. And now it's like 10's not enough to get that feeling and now I have no more money. And now 10's not enough to get that feeling and I have no money and now I gotta go figure this out. That's the fucked up part. And that's where it goes because then when it gets to that point, now I'm going out and I'm like, figuring it out, and that's fucking scary. Figuring it out, how I'm gonna go get this, because I need it, and I'm gonna go get it. However, and that's the part that it's not beautiful. It's fucking ugly. And not only is it ugly for us, it's even worse for our loved ones. Because we take them down this whole fucking road, dude, of insanity. And as insane as we are around the drugs as how they become around us. And it's this one big sickness that started as this beauty. It's like this fucking lie, dude. It's the apple, bro. It's the fucking apple, bro. Mm-hmm. And it's this fucking lie. And now not only are we caught up in the cycle of addiction, but our whole fucking family's caught up in the cycle of addiction. Or you're born into the cycle of addiction, and like me. Mm-hmm. But it kind of nailed it, like that whole analogy of it. But it's like, that's what it is, dude. And it takes us down this fucking ugly, dark, fucking shameful, because the drug pushes you to do things that are shameful that you would never have done.
The yets.
And don't think that there ain't a yet.
Walk us through the progression. You know, the All-Star game, you couldn't get pills. You felt detox for the first time.
Oh.
Walk us through the progression to where you are now full-blown, using every day, dependent on it, and really in the grips of addiction.
Oh, man. Dude, I sat in that for 7 fucking years, bro. Yeah, man. When I realized that, there was no way I could tell anybody. You know, my father always had pills, but not enough to support my habit. So I could like sneak in here and there, grab a few here and there, but it wasn't enough. So I needed to go out and get it. And I did, and I went out, and it just got, like, when the money left, my brother, it just got real ugly, you know? And it was like hustles because my habit was high, bro. It got so bad, like, that I could do like 380s at one time and not even be like nodding out. You know what I mean? Like, that's how high the habit got. Like, if I had enough money to get 10 in a day, I could do 10 fucking 80s in a day and like fucking 5 sticks, 5 Xanax, and blow coke. Like, the addiction got so fucking savage that it was like, you know. And then if I didn't have it, it was a nightmare. So I played that game too, like the Suboxone thing. Mm-hmm. Like, let me have the Suboxone, so if I am sick and I can't get it, I could take the Suboxone. Let me get sick so I can get high. How fucking insane is that shit? Let me have my Suboxone. Let me get it so I could be well if I can't get it, the drugs. And then let me get sick on purpose, because if I take the pills on the Suboxone, I'm not going to get high. So I'm going to purposely detox for a day and make myself miserable so I could get high.
Higher.
How fucking insane. And living in that. And then how does that feel in the psyche of a human? You just feel more shame about what you're creating. And like anything if I would go make money, it all went to drugs. Any of it. All of it. All the money I made working, anything I hustled, it all went. Even if I made licks, I might have some nice shit for a minute, and then it's gone. Mm-hmm. And it's a fucking lie. The whole life is a lie. I don't even know who the fuck I am as a human being. You know what I mean?
You're good. Yeah, you're fine.
I don't know who I am as a human being. You're just lost in the cycle of addiction, brother. Lost soul.
Did you ever take Suboxone and time it perfectly so that at night you could then get high off opiates? Or were you
I've tried that, but it never was successful.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, and then I'd be like, fuck. Like, I just wasted my, my fucking pill because I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, dude, right? Right? Just living a use, it's so fucking like.
Yeah, I used to do that shit all the time,
dude. And like, you know what? Even if all this shit I've been through, bro, I take this shit all day. Cause I just had a friend pass away, dude, like 2 months ago, bro. He's got 2 kids. Suffered for years, bro. He left 2 kids behind, man.
What was he, an opiate guy?
Yeah.
What was he? Oh, okay. So he was doing H at this point. Yeah. Because oxys have been off the fucking market. No, you can't get a real blue out there.
No, it's all fentanyl now. Everybody's just dying. Just everyone's dying, dude.
Back in New York, this was?
No, out here.
Oh man, that's so sad.
Yeah, like it's last month, September.
So I think about it all the time. I got sober 7 years ago. You got sober 13 years ago, 2011. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Imagine still using up to this point. Like, I hear about people that were using when I was using 7 years ago.
No.
And it's like, how are they still fucking doing it? How are you still doing the hustle? Because eventually you always run out of money.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you have. No. You always run out of money.
Of course.
You drive everyone insane.
Everybody.
You ruin everything in your life. You don't have a job. You're not employable.
No.
So like, how do people do it for so long?
It's the shame, brother. The shame cycle. You just stay stuck in it, man. Like you just like you give up. You fucking give up. You know, that's what kept me in it for so long. The shame and guilt, and just being like, fuck it. My whole life was fucking hard and sad. That I was like, fuck it. You know, you just give up, man. That's why we gotta be the fucking hope, bro. For that dude that's like in that, man. That's why God kept me here. You know, for the addict that's sick and suffering, and now everything that I've been through for everybody, man. Like anything that you're struggling with, there's no fucking excuses. I don't make excuses. You know.
Take us through the last year from 2010 to 2011, right before you got sober, and how you found sobriety, essentially.
Well, I had gotten sober in 2006. I came to Texas to get sober, so I had about a year, but I relapsed. But it planted the seed, which was like huge for me. I'd worked the steps. I had an experience, but I didn't really, I don't know how big you are with the 12 steps, but I didn't really, like 6 and 7, I was still not willing to let go of a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? There was still a lot of things.
Defects. Yeah. I get it.
Even I wasn't really full of the resentments. I think that we need to also seek outside counsel for some stuff. Like, the steps are great, but they take us so far. I think that, you know, severe trauma, the deeper work, like the inner child work, like at year 7 of my sobriety, really opened me up. Being able to do that work had like a real, just opened me up, man, to a whole new experience. But going back to that, like I had this sobriety, but I didn't continue to water it. And what had happened was, and I think this is important for the viewers, dude, if we're going to be talking about recovery, is that like I always talk about, when I look back, I like to reflect. I reflect daily, and I like to reflect on anniversaries, sobriety anniversaries, and because I think that when we look back, we could look at lessons and learn through everything that we've been through. And looking back at that experience of when I relapsed in 2006, what happens is like I work these steps. I got to have an experience, and I'm going to meetings. I have a sponsor, I have a service commitment. But what happens is I stopped like living in 10 and 11. So I start showing up with the same guy that like overdosed and was in the hospital, but I don't know it because I'm not checking myself. There's no awareness of self. I'm not really walking with God. I'm back walking with myself. And I make the analogy that like AA is like the whole program, the Service Recovery and Unity is the wildebeest. And our addiction is the lion. And the lion only attacks the wildebeest that's on the outside. It's never going after the prone that's in the middle. And when you stay in the middle of that triangle, safe and protected, I feel like that's where I lacked. You know, I was doing meetings, I was doing service, but the whole point of the 12-step program is to work the steps. And you go to a meeting to serve. You go to spread the message of hope, of how God is working in your life. But I'm walking with Frank Parisi. I'm not walking with God. And I'm restless, irritable, and discontent internally. Because meeting makers don't make it. Guys who work the steps make it. And I wasn't doing that, and I relapsed, dude. So for all the listeners out there, work them steps. Stay in that 10 and 11, man, you know?
What did the relapse look like in your head? What was the thinking process to picking up that first one after a year?
I worked in a substance abuse facility. I was like a tech, and I watched a guy come in that owned the place and take out of the med cabinet old Suboxone, old pills that weren't thrown out. Yeah, how crazy is this shit? This is how crazy the substance abuse industry is. So he took out the pills for himself that were supposed to be disposed, and I saw that, and I was in a discontent state because I'm not in the middle of this fucking thing, bro. And that played in my mind, like, oh, I know there's like Suboxones in there that haven't been thrown out, and like there's some, Xanax that's in there that hasn't been thrown out. And I don't have the power, to be honest with you, bro. I don't have the power to be honest with you. And before you know it, I'm working in a fucking treatment center and I steal Suboxone. How crazy is that shit?
And then how long does that take you out for?
4 years.
How long until you're using oxys again and right back to where you were?
As soon as I go back to New York.
Right away, essentially.
Yeah, because I was out here working in treatment,
yep.
and then I went back to New York. And but when I did the Suboxone out here, I found like bikes and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I moved back to New York, and my father had gotten like fucking robbed. My cousin turned rat. There was a whole fucking thing that happened, and I went back to fucking insanity, bro, and right back to all of it. Like it's like the Matrix, bro. Like you take the pill, recovery, and it gives you this good life, and then you go back to like not only the addiction, but like the whole lifestyle again after tasting what a good life could be, bro. Oh my God, what a nightmare that was. That was a rough 4 years.
Having a head full of recovery and knowing that there's a better way and going back out there and going to your old stomping grounds and stuff. I used to get anxiety. I have experience with that.
Bro, and then not even that, going back as a fucking loser.
Yeah. And
losing. And everybody just looking at you as a fucking loser. The shame just keeps you in that, And I share this with people because I became a fucking winner, man. And it's like all the motherfuckers, all the guys out there that are struggling with addiction, it's like all the people that are looking down at you, let me be the fucking hope. Because motherfuckers, if you walk this path, they're going to need fucking binoculars to look at you. All the people that used to look down on me today, they ain't on my fucking level. None of the dudes there's a few that reached my heights. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like, don't ever like, that dude on the corner that's fucking begging might be a fucking CEO of a $100 million company one day that you're fucking working for. I know guys like that. I know a guy that actually is like that. He sold the company for $115 fucking million. He used to shoot heroin in his neck.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I fucking love it. I love us. Best people in the world, bro.
Well, I think it's really important because shame keeps you in the active addiction for so long and you feel like a piece of shit.
I'm never going to amount to nothing.
I'm not good enough. Dude, I experienced that. We all experience that. And then it's until you put your foot down and you make that decision, I'm not going to fucking take this shit anymore. No more. I'm done. I'm done using. Growth. And then you are forced to do the work. Whether you want to fucking do it or not, it gets so fucking bad that it outweighs...
What other option?
You going out of your comfort zone and actually doing the work. And the shame just continues to build and compress and get worse. And it's not until me personally, I didn't make the initial decision to stop using 7 years ago. I had to get pulled out of my, physically pulled out of my, surroundings and thrown into recovery.
Yeah.
What was it like for you in 2011 when you finally made the decision to get sober?
Yeah, it wasn't. I got thrown into Texas in 2006. They were like, "Listen, you OD'd, you're going to fucking Texas," But in 2011, at that point, it was just like, dude, like enough's enough. Like I'm watching fucking guys that were like should not be doing better than me, doing way better than me. You know what I mean? Not to be like that, but I always fancied myself as something better than what the fuck I was putting out. You know what I mean? I didn't ever expect to be a junkie. I always saw myself as something in this life. I didn't know what that something was, but it wasn't that, And, just 2011, what was the question again?
What really what got you sober?
Dude, I don't know. Moment of clarity. It's like the big book talks about. Just that moment of clarity. Like, as I was saying, like a guy came looking, a friend of mine that I owed money to in the street, And here I am, a 31-year-old man, and I don't have I think it was like $200 to pay street debt. And my wife comes out with a check because we don't even have cash. I'm living in Midland Beach, which is a shithole in Staten Island. And she pays a grown man's street debt off, $200. And there was way worse situations than that. But for whatever reason, that day, I had that moment of clarity and I ran with it. I literally looked myself in the mirror and I said, it doesn't matter what happened, what you've been through in your life. Who gives a fuck? You're in a ditch. If we focus on why we got in here, we're not going to get out. So the only focus now has to be getting out of the ditch. And that's what it's been, my brother. It's been over the past 13 plus years, my only focus has been my evolution and my elevation. Our whole sole purpose here, I believe, on this journey in Earth is to evolve as human beings. Because as we develop and grow, so does our frequency, so does our vibration around us, our families, our friends. Everyone gets better. And that's what our purpose, I believe, is. And that's where my focus is. So it was really that moment of clarity from God, from the universe, giving me this gift and me running with it and never looking back.
One of the things that prevented me from getting clean and sober, and I was a chronic relapser for a period.
Me too.
And I would always say to myself, I would get clean and sober, but then it was on my terms. And it was, well, I can't do 90 meetings in 90 days. I can't call a sponsor every day. I don't have time. I work. I have a girlfriend. I have this. I have responsibilities. What did you do that first year? So in 2006, you had a year and then you relapsed. What did you do differently in your first year? Because 31 years old, you're married, you're working, you have a full boat going on, but you found a way to get clean and sober. So what changed for you that first year?
I just focused on my recovery and nothing else, bro. Like, I literally would go into Manhattan. I would go to work. I'd come home. I'd go to the gym. I'd go to a meeting. And then that would be it. Every fucking day. That was it. Go to work, go to the gym, go to a meeting. And I started to hang around guys that were like street guys like me. They grew up very similar to me. Similar, like my first sponsor was Joe Colombo from the Colombo crime family's nephew. He was sober, but I needed that. And I remember being like, I was thinking, and he was like, who the fuck told you to think? He's like, just come with us. So that's what I did. I just was like, that's the easiest way to live, though, is just to let go of the fucking wheel and just let the universe guide you, get a mentor, you know what I mean? And it was like so easy because I let go for the first time. And I just was like all about building a relationship with God, focusing on my recovery, personal development, and truly service of others. I knew that, I know what makes me feel good. I love to work out. I love to eat healthy. I love time with my family today. And I love to help people. And when I was helping and serving, I knew I was feeling a new vibration. I feel like our whole purpose here is, like I said, evolution, because as we evolve, the rising tide raises all boats. As we get better, we get the download. Now we get to go back into the fire that we were in, pull those people out, because we got the solution now, And that service just makes me feel so good. And that's been my focus, my brother. That's been it. That's why I've become successful in my life. Truly, it's been my recovery. My recovery saved my life. It really did. It got me out of the street. It got me out of that whole life, man. Because I have friends that weren't even in recovery. I got that 20 years in prison for murder who just came out, literally. Shit is you know what I mean? So it's recovery, literally saved my life because it changed my whole paradigm. Everything about me is different. My circles, the way I think, the way I act, it put me on a growth mindset. I became self-educated. I have different people. My circle is not just like one, it's everything. It's everybody. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I have friends that are athletes and entrepreneurs and doctors and lawyers and, you know, and I could be with them. I have friends that sold companies, you know, and make millions. And then, but I also could be with the dude that's, you know, in prison, you know?
But this was a guy in 2011 who was a junkie and turned his life around.
Fuck yeah, bro.
And look at you now.
Fuck yeah, bro.
There's hope.
There's hope for anybody, dude. Don't ever give up fucking hope, dude. And I love you. Like, I love you, dude, on some real shit because I know your pain. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this shit. It doesn't matter, like, who we are, where we're from, what color, what race, what gender. We understand that fucking pain, bro. And the beautiful thing is we survived it and we're on the other end of it and we serve. So we know that too. And that's what makes it beautiful. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, that's what made, bro, like, don't you, like, I wouldn't change anything in my life. Any of it, bro. It made my life cool as fuck. Like, if you would sit down and watch a movie of your life, would it be a cool movie?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. So you lived a cool movie. Like, you don't want to live that movie that it's like the dude that just fucking, like, that's like, I know guys like that. They just go to work every fucking day. They do the same fucking thing every day. It's like predictable life. And it's like, that sucks. I don't want to watch that movie. So I'd rather have all the crazy that I've gone through in my life and the ups and downs and the peaks and the valleys because it makes the fucking movie of my life so cool.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the biggest things for me in my recovery, which really got me to the next level, was accountability.
Oh, yeah.
What did accountability do for you? Huge. How did you discover that in sobriety?
Dude, I went to a treatment program that was all about accountability in the 12 steps. I love discipline. I'm the most disciplined person, my brother. Like, I love it. When I worked in treatment in 2006, check this out. When I went to treatment, we did this thing called Steel on Steel, all right, where you sit and everybody sits in a circle around you and gives you considerations in the form of would you consider or is it possible, because your ego can't defend that. And you sit there in open posture and the group gives feedback on how they perceive you show up in all these areas of your life. In would you consider or is it possible, because your ego can't defend it. So what you do is you take 3 from the group of the most that popped up and use them as corrective measures and practice them over the next 2 weeks. Now, we did that in treatment, but I carried that out with a group of men for several years after treatment. Like, talk about, it's called Steel on Steel. As iron sharpens iron, so does another man sharpen the other man. And it's like, I love you enough to not give a fuck about your feelings and tell you the truth about how I see you showing up. And that's like non-negotiable shit, right? Like, I have a business partner and it's like, dude, like, that's some like non-negotiable shit. Like, that's what I want in my life. Savage men. It's non-negotiable. This is how we keep our swords sharp. You might not like it, but all I'm doing is holding a fucking mirror. What you don't like is what you're seeing. It's not me. Because I can't see myself. Unless I do a lot of 4-column inventory and I look at that 4th column and then I could see my delusion. But sometimes I still can't even see it. I need to read it to another man and have him fucking give me some input on it. Because I can't see past myself sometimes. But if I don't have ego and I have a bunch of savage men that I love and trust in my corner that could call me out on my shit and I'm not the smartest man in the room, man, you will fucking become sharp as a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they bring out the best in you.
Fuck
it's
yeah.
It's tough to
Other
hear
men.
Sometimes, but it brings out the best in you. I used to surround myself with people who would never call me out and never hold me accountable because I was so scared and my self-esteem was so little. I had 0 self-esteem. Yeah. I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
And today I have people that hold me accountable.
Yeah.
It sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
but pick your shit up.
Yeah.
Move it along.
Yeah.
Be a better person.
Yeah.
And that fucking feeling passes.
Absolutely, bro. I love it. I love it because it means I need to improve.
Yeah.
So it's like constantly checking myself and having others check me. That I give license to. You know?
Because you respect them. You watch them. You see them. You see how they operate.
I ask people, how do you perceive me? You know? I have no ego, brother. Like, I always constantly want to learn, and I learn best from others. You know?
If someone I don't respect says that to me, I'm just like, okay, no problem. See you later.
Yeah,
you know, like, all right, bye, done, moving on. I don't even give them time of day, to be honest. But, you know, when you keep a close circle, especially in sobriety, and I love that you talked about people that walk the same path as you as a young child, or grew up in the same lifestyle that you grew up, but you found them in sobriety, and you respect them, and you watch them. Mm-hmm. And they were walking the walk in sobriety.
Oh, yeah. Of service.
That is huge.
Yes.
And getting connected with the right community, because I felt like I was alone for so long. Getting connected with the right community.
Game changer.
People who have been through it, who can relate to you. Maybe they don't look like you. Maybe they don't have the same walk of life as you, but they have the same feelings and they know what you've been through.
They know, we all know each other, bro. It doesn't matter, bro. You know, that's the first thing I say when I share. I don't know you, but I know you. We know each other better than we think, you know, because we know each other's pain. Yeah. And I'm on the other side of it, so I can show you this way, you know, because someone else showed me. It's not like it's my way.
Yeah.
You know?
If you could go back and give the 2011 Frank, who's listening right now as a listener or viewer, a piece of advice, what would it be?
Appreciate every single moment. Don't stress the small stuff. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, enjoy every moment, my brother. We're here to be alive, to experience it all, and don't stress. There's absolutely, literally nothing to stress. We're in a dream.
Shout out your book.
My book is on Amazon. It's a bestseller. You could get it on Amazon. It's called Embrace Abundance. You could also get it on my website, frank-parisi.com. So yeah, there it is. I have a substance abuse and mental health facility, partial hospitalization, IOP, partners with Jason Turner. Shout out to my partner. It's called Emotion Wellness down in San Antonio, Texas, for adolescents and adults.
See, I'm an idiot, so this is good because it looks like a very simple, straightforward read.
You could read it in 2 days.
I love it.
It's great. I'm gonna do the audio too.
It's not overwhelming.
I'll do the audible. I have a podcast. I also have a podcast studio down in San Antonio with my treatment center. So I'm going to actually do the audio down there.
So for the addicts and alcoholics who like to complicate things, like myself, this is a very good read. It's not overwhelming.
No, it's not. And you'll like it. It's powerful, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Actually, really quick before you're wearing a sweatshirt. What happened to your arm?
My arm?
Yeah.
Well, my arm. I had a heart transplant, bro.
No way. I didn't know that.
That's like another hour.
He didn't know?
Right there.
No, I had no fucking idea. You had an arm transplant?
My dude, I had a heart transplant.
Okay.
I died last year.
I didn't know that.
I fucking died last year. Yeah, dude. Oh, check it out. Look. Yeah, I fucking really freak you guys out. Look.
Whoa.
So what they did is they messed my arm up in the hospital when I went. I had a cough for 5 months. No one knew what was wrong with me.
A cough.
A cough. Traveled all over the country. Nobody knew what was wrong with me for 5 months. 2 primary care physicians misdiagnosed me. Gastrointestinal, came back fine. Pulmonologist told me I have a rare pneumonia called organizing pneumonia. And 3% of the population has it after COVID. They gave me high-dose steroids and antibiotics. It got worse. On May 8th, I cough up a half a bottle of blood. I go to the hospital. here in Austin. The nurse comes in, puts the wrong pick in my arm, infiltrates my skin inside out, 3rd-degree burn. They treat me for sepsis. I'm in there for fucking 10 hours. They finally realize that my heart's failing. The doctor says you have 9% ejection fraction and your kidney and livers are failing. And they're taking me up to Temple, Texas, of all places. The word, Temple, God, 20,000 people. We have 4 major cities in Texas, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, and Houston. But they're going to take me to a town of 20,000 people to save my life. So they take me up there. My wife's waiting there with a picture of my son begging me to live. Talk about the steps. God is everything, He is nothing. Complete abandonment of my life, my future, my son, everything I've worked for. I go in, I die. There's a doctor there from New York named Dr. Reddy who's there from Lenox Hill or one of these fucking hospitals. He brings his whole team with him from New York. He reverses everything. When I die, I leave. I'm in a dark space. I'm with my friend from New York that I grew up with, that I helped. He got killed years ago. He's with me. There's a voice telling me that he's there to take me to whatever's next. And I have a vision of my son growing up without me. I'm looking at through a hole of me on a ventilator and my wife sleeping next to me. I tell the voice that I got to come back. They say, we're going to let you come back, but you're going to suffer. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm in a bed for 9 days, and there's doctors walking in with hazmat suits because I'm coughing this orange stuff up. This is crazy. I thought you knew this. So they come in, 9 days, still no one knows what's wrong with me. They tell me I might need a heart transplant. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean heart transplant? Like, I've been working out for 30 years, bro. What are you talking about, heart transplant? I got an appointment with a medium. I booked a medium out because in January I started to feel like I was dying. I'm telling everyone I feel like I'm dying. No one believes me. I booked a medium out because I want to talk to my father. My father died like in 2020. And so I booked a medium in like January, February. Here I am 9 days in a bed. I got the appointment with the fucking medium. I'm supposed to be in Miami at an entrepreneur group that I joined on a yacht, like a 90-foot yacht. And I'm in bed 9 days fighting for my life. What an appointment, what a medium. Like, what's going on? They tell me I might need a heart transplant. I talk to the fucking medium. The medium knows everything about my father. She knows all my doctors are from New York. Okay, she goes, your father sent them there for you. One of the other doctors is from, bro, I'm in Temple, Texas, 20,000 people. One of the other doctors, his father's a wise guy. In the middle of nowhere, bro. We're not like in Queens.
Witness protection.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another one of the doctors went to the same college as my wife and baked her favorite rainbow cookies. I'm on the phone with the medium and she goes, all your doctors are from New York? I said, yeah. She goes, your father sent them there for you. She had 2 things wrong, a birthday and a pendant and a chain. My father's mother died when he was 14. Her birthday was May 19th. She's telling me that your grandmother's birthday's tomorrow. My dad was telling me. I didn't know. My mother came in the next day and told me, today's your grandmother's birthday. The pendant and chain, I didn't know nothing about. My mother tells me the next day that when your father died, she gave a pendant of your grandmother to me with a chain. I knew nothing about this. I gave it to your father's sister, your Aunt Camille. I FaceTime my aunt in the bed. She's wearing the pendant and the fucking chain, bro. So I'm in there and I'm like, maybe this shit didn't happen to me. You know? I don't know. This could all be coincidences. The out-of-body experience. This fucking medium. Like, what's going on? Like, this is like something out of a movie, right? This makes no sense. None of this makes sense. But I know because of recovery that when we're at our lowest, what do you need? You need love, bro. You need God. How do you find God? Through love. How do you find love? Through giving it. So now I'm starting to buy all the nurses breakfast, lunch, dinner. I know what it's like to take care of people because I worked in substance abuse for years. I know what it's like to watch patients die. So I've been in like these weird situations. I've been in jail. I've been in treatment. I've been in sicky situations. So I've been not here, but I've been here before. And now I know I have to get up. Like I spoke to this medium and I have to get up. So now I have to walk. I have to learn how to walk. So I got to learn how to walk because you're in bed for 9 days, I lost 50 pounds. And you have to learn how to walk again. So my first 10 steps were like it was like my 110. That's why we say I coach my son's flag football. In life, it doesn't matter about anything except these two things. Did you put your 110 into everything that you did? That's all that matters. I don't care if we won or lost. And then what's next? Those are the two things, 110 and what's next, because I don't care what happened. It's what's next. What's next is what's going to determine, right, my life. So here I am now, and I'm like, I have to get up. I have to radically accept where I am. You're here. You're in a bed. You have to get up. You have to walk. You did just experience an out-of-body experience. You did just experience this fucking thing with this medium. Now you got to get up, bro, and you got to learn how to walk. And my dude, I started to walk 1 mile, 2 miles. So now they put a pump in my chest. 13 staples.
Jesus.
So now the pump is going to see if I live or not, right? It's going to see if I'm going to keep my heart. So it's called an impeller pump. And so now I'm walking 5 fucking miles, bro, in the unit while I'm hearing code blue. I'm calling sponsees and I'm getting the other patients up. And you could go to my Instagram and see, they got me a Superman cape, bro. I was walking 5 miles around an icy, bro, you walk like literally in circles. I was walking 5 miles because I knew I was going to have to get my chest cut open. So I knew I had to get healthy. I'm doing squats. I'm bringing light in the darkest of fucking times.
Your fucking mind.
I'm bringing light in the darkest of fucking times. I'm serving because of recovery, because of the man that I developed, brother. Because my life ain't about me. My life's about the service of others. My life's about my son and his future generations and their whole new paradigm shift, because I'm the one, dude. That's why I'm facing everything I'm facing. I'm the one in my family to break all this shit. That's why my path's been the way it is. So I'm fucking walking. I'm walking. Ibuprofen. I go in. They go check to see if I'm going to keep my heart. I am not keeping my heart. Now I need a heart transplant. No one knows why. I have a rare gene. We don't know why the gene was activated. You can have the gene. We still don't know why. So now they're going to debride my arm June 1st. And they're saying it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks before you get a heart transplant because of your blood type's O positive. So they debride my arm. And then when they debride the arm, you see like my arm's like unlifted there. It was like missing like that much. Like that much was down. So they got to clean it. Now I got to wait for it to grow back. I got a piece of my leg missing. So they take a piece of your leg and put it in. But once it evens, the skin has to grow back. But as it grows back, they have to clean it every other day, bro.
Yeah, with Brillo pads and stuff.
My dude, it feels like somebody would take fire to my arm.
I know someone who went through that.
So I took ibuprofen with this. So June 1st, I get this done. Now I gotta take the pain meds. Now I gotta flirt with not only the fact that I'm facing my possible death. Yeah. I'm waiting on a heart transplant, and now they're cleaning my arm, and it feels like there's fire in my arm. They come in on June 2nd, one day after. They tell me 6 to 8 weeks it's going to be. They say, we got a heart for you tomorrow. One day. So you go in, be like, oh my God, someone died. You know, what am I doing with that? Am I going to live? Spiritual life's not a theory, my dude. You gotta live this shit. If God wants to take me, and I've truly given my will and my life over to the care of God, if I have understood, not words, you understand? These aren't words. Are you truly willing to die for God if God wants to take me and take me from my family? Like, this is real shit. This isn't like I'm sitting in fucking an AA meeting parroting what fucking page 23 said. This is some real shit. And I live. I fucking live, dude. I live. And then I got the skin graft surgery in July. And I got to meet my donor's family. a few like months ago. Randomly picked up the mail on a Friday night, and it was the family wrote me a letter. Wow. They divorced the parents. I spoke to the mom and the dad, and what's the odds I pick it up on a Friday night and the next day he's renewing his vows of 10 years with his wife. And he invites me to drive out to Longview, Texas, 5 hours away to be part of the ceremony. And I walk his wife down, his wife's mom down the aisle.
Holy shit.
And I have the whole family listen to my heart. All 6 of her sisters. I have a girl's heart in my chest, my dude. We are all connected. Carl Jung was correct. We are one consciousness. There is no separation. It's all an illusion, bro. I have a 19-year-old girl's heart. When I left and I died, I was in just, you're not who you are, bro. Someone gave you your fucking name. You're in a fucking dream. We're like in the most advanced form of, I don't know what we're in, but it's not where I went. And I have a young girl's heart in my chest that's 19 years old. She died in a car accident saving a 12-year-old sister. And I had a 12-year-old sister look into my eyes and bawl crying, listening to her sister's heart in my chest. The whole family got to sit there with me, bro. Like, I can't even explain. Like, think about it. I'm a kid from Little Italy, dude. All this shit I've been through. I grew up in the mob. Addiction, street life. Came from nothing, had nothing. Became a multimillionaire. Changed my life. Changed the future of my fucking family. Helped a ton of fucking people. I have a girl's heart in my chest. All this shit happened, bro. I'm gonna get clear. I didn't get to say this on the last one. I'm super clear that God truly chose me. I'm not just crazy. He chose me, dude. He removed my heart because it held so much generational curses and trauma. And he needed me to share this message of hope with the world, bro. He didn't make me suffer. I started writing that book in the hospital for my son. It became a bestseller in 3 countries. It's all divine, dude. All these people have left my life. I had business taken from me. I lost $500,000 in income this year. I lost my heart. I lost my income. I had friends show me who they are and they were removed. Family not show up for me in my hospital bed. Not even call. The universe showed me the truth. It showed me who I am, my non-negotiables, where I'm gonna go, how I'm gonna get there, who's gonna help me to get there. It provided everything for me and it took everything from me and it gave everything over 10x, bro. I bought into a new substance abuse and mental health facility with one of my best friends. So even in the worst of times, bro, it doesn't matter. It's what's the gift in this and what am I gonna become because of it? Never fucking victim. I'm like fucking Braveheart at the end, bro. Keep fucking coming, dude. Nothing's stopping me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's fucking stopping me. Till my last breath, I'm gonna show up in the man I developed, and it's all because of my fucking recovery, bro. It literally changed my whole entire life. Literally.
Frank, thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, my dude.
I appreciate
Follow me on Instagram, Frank Parisi 2011.
And get his book.
Yes.